Hey guys and welcome back. So check this out. I created a cooling solution for the Latte Panda based LATTEintosh mini PC that features a DC 12 volt fan that is driven by this unique battery pack constructed completely of PCBs. I'm going to run Genshin Impact on this computer to test the CPU's thermals when the fan is turned on. Then we'll compare the thermals with the fan turned off to test this project. The heart of this battery pack is a BMS or battery management system that controls how the lithium cells are charged and discharged. These cells are connected in series to create 11.1 volt, which is utilized to drive the DC fan. The battery pack has a DC jack on one side that charges the cell via the BMS, along with a cell holder and BMS on the other side. This project is going to be fun, so let's get started with the build. Here's the design that I've used in this build. I utilized PCBWay's service for this project. On PCBWay's code page, I uploaded the project Gerber files. I choose a white silk screen and a red solder mask for the battery pack board. Within a week of placing the purchase, I received the PCBs and they were of fairly high quality. They performed a great job producing this PCB with no mistake at all, and the silk screen was flawless. If you want great PCB service at reasonable rate and low price, you guys can check them out. Link is in video description. The board assembly process began by first adding solder paste to each component pad one by one. Next, using a tweezer, we pick and position each assembly component in its designated location, which is the BMS, diode and resistor. Following that, we carefully lift the entire circuit board and set it down on the SMT hot plate, which heats the PCB from below up to the solder paste melting temperature. As soon as the PCB reaches that temperature, solder paste melt and all the components are connected to their pads. The lithium ion cell holder is then added to the PCB bottom side by first soldering one side of the pad and then attaching the cell holder to its position. Then we place a DC jack and two JST connector on their location, and then we solder their pads from the top side of the PCB. Finally, we add a 3mm LED indicator to PCB's LED pad using two wires. The circuit is now assembled. Now the BMS that we are using is a 3S BMS. We can connect at least 3 cells in series, boosting each cell voltage from 3.7 volt to 11.1 volt while maintaining the cell's capacity. We start by measuring the voltage of each cell. Although the voltage of these cells may vary, don't worry. The BMS will charge the cell up to their maximum voltage threshold and properly balance them, implying that even if each cell initial voltage is different, following the first charge, they will become balanced throughout the charging process. We place the cells in the right polarity after confirming their voltage. We now check the battery pack voltage, which should be around 11.1 volt after placing the lithium cell in the cell holder. Then using a JST wire harness, we connect a 12 volt DC fan and a rocker switch to the main circuit. The fan will turn on when we turn on the rocker switch, indicating that the system is functioning. Finally, we connect a 12 volt 1 ampere power source to the PCB's DC connection to charge the battery pack. When we do this, the indicator LED will glow. We may now proceed to the next phase, which is to examine the circuit holder and assemble it with the PCB battery pack, since everything in the PCB battery pack is functional now. The original lid cover of the LATTEintosh small PC was slightly adjusted to create the circuit holder part in Fusion 360. I had to alter the current lid position and vertically add the circuit before exporting the mesh file and printing this part on my Ender 3 with transparent PLA using a 0.4 mm nozzle with 0.2 mm layer height. Adding the PCB battery pack into the circuit holder part served as a first step in the circuit holder construction. The PCB is simply slide into the circuit holder. The 3 mm LED is then inserted into the LED hole on the circuit holder's body. Now we insert the rocker switch into the circuit holder body and connect the rocker switch JST connector harness to the JST connector provided on the PCB battery pack. Finally, two M2 screws are added to secure the circuit into the circuit holder part. We now add the circuit holder assembly into the LATTEintosh PC body. Next, we add JST wire harness of the DC fan to the JST connector on the main circuit. Finally, the assembly part is finished by fastening the circuit holder assembly into the lid by two M2 screws. The end result of this entire build is the fan that has a separate power source that is located inside the PC case and is powered by an onboard lithium cells that are connected separately from the LATTEpanda's power supply. There is nothing particularly special about this whole setup. The fan can only be turned on or off using the rocker switch. It's simple and effective. Now let's use the system to run games and evaluate its thermal performance. Genshin Impact is the sponsor of this video. No, they are not the sponsor of this video, but I will be playing Genshin Impact on the system. So let's begin. Before starting the game, the CPU core temperature was 64 degrees Celsius, and this was when the fan is turned off. Next, we start the game. This is the CPU temperature following the 20 continuous minutes of gameplay. All the while the fan wasn't running. Remember that even though 69 degrees Celsius is a very high temperature, we are playing a challenging game on a single board computer that is not intended for this kind of work. We then went through the entire procedure one more time, but this time we play the game for 20 minutes with the fan turned on. Look, जल्दी बर्ड मार गया उसका मुंह पे आ गया The reported temperature is 63 degrees Celsius, which is significantly lower than the one that was previously recorded, 69 degrees Celsius. The present temperature of 63 degrees Celsius is not a great number, but if we use a better fan like the one from Noctua or add a fan guide to increase the airflow even more, the temperature should decrease a little bit further. Folks, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If yes, then do not forget to click that subscribe button. Stay tuned for the LATTEintosh version 2 video that I am working on. Thanks PCBWay for supporting this project, and you guys can check them out if you need great PCB service for less cost. And I'll be back with a new project pretty soon. Peace out.
cheat code.
वीडियो चल रही है जल्दी का.
Body in mind. Brain out. Find your fate.
लड़ने के काम कर.
Not good.
अच्छा इससे कौन से वाला है? पीछे खड़ा. ओह नो, आराम से पीछे खड़ा हूँ.